Hey everyone. Oh, that was probably too fast. Hey everyone. Welcome to another Malts Meeples. I am Petter. I run this channel and we are on... Let me double check. We're in October now. Starting October of our playthrough of Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Pandemic Legacy is a board game where the game changes as you play it, and everybody's game is going to end up slightly different than anybody else's. And we have made it into the month of October. We just have November and December left. See in a few minutes here from the Legacy deck what the game has to throw at us this time. But before we get to that, if you are enjoying the streams, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe on YouTube. That would be great. Now let's talk about what we got to drink today. We have Fresh Haze from Deschutes. So this is IPA. Hazy IPAs tend to be focused on that more fruity and tropical flavor of the IPA. Well, let's see how this one is. Very good, very refreshing. It's a warm day today. Again, it's going to be that way for hopefully a good while longer. I'm not ready for winter to be back yet, though I do like cold weather. But let's go through this Legacy deck, see what we have to start here. The Fated are a mystery to science. Despite the presence of a clear and violent contagion, they have a very low mortality rate, leading to huge Fated populations. We are aware that Patient Zero came out of City Zero. We're afraid that somebody's going to need to go in and find her, as she holds the key to unlocking a possible vaccine. Please deliver her to us. So I'm assuming this is another... Nope. I was going to say, hey, another search. This is going to be that search. I guess I should read through this first quick. Advance one space. Normally, if you're matching the color of Istanbul, advance 3 spaces if you discard Istanbul. If there's a military base in City Zero, advance the search party 1 additional space per search action. Nope, unfortunately not. Wrong one there. So that we still do have to do 3. That's kind of nice to be able to get that one out of the way. And we have our Patient Zero stuff here. That's what we go through so far. And let's give this a shuffle. Let's hope we find one of them that allows us to search fast. Oh yeah. We should go back over what Aurora has had happen to her in the last couple games. Shady background. Play any card matching the color of the city you're in to perform the sabotage action. So if you remember, that's destroying the military bases. Cannot share knowledge except with someone you have a relationship with. We have the relationship. And may not take the build roadblock action. Let's see. Grenade belt. Ooh, binoculars. Extra search. C4 allows us to blow up. And parachute allows us to If you show this card during your turn, you may take a direct or charter flight action into a riding or collapsing city. Cool. Probably won't do that, but that is going to be nice for starting to find that patient zero. For me, I think that's the top priority. If you're looking at it right now, we have enough to advance 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. It'd be really nice to find another one of those binoculars. It's really weird to say it, but yeah, getting another black card, that'd be cool. Getting Istanbul would be great. That would allow us to shoot ahead 3 spots. Very strong. We have a bunch of binoculars in place. And before we flip stuff here, we do get our bonus of either putting one of these stickers onto card we have, or advance the search track 1. Search track's going up 1. And it's as simple as that. So let's set this out of the way, set this over, double check the stream's going, it's going, and start, give this a good shuffle. Our 3s. Hong Kong. Of course, faded. It's unfortunate. London. And Bogota. Choose. Baghdad, Moscow, and Shanghai. And our 1s, Cairo, Los Angeles, and Atlanta. And I realized I forgot one step in here. So this very bottom card of Bogota gets a permanent military base. See who goes first. Aurora Monroe goes first. We'll start here in Shanghai. So with that, we're actually going to quarantine Hong Kong. Go here for 2, fly to Paris for 3. We'll actually use Paris to destroy the Paris military base for 4. I really wanted to search, but that would have been all Oro's actions. Let's see if we can get something good. Khartoum and Beijing. Kind of nothing cards for us there. But nothing's fine sometimes. a lot of the time. Santiago and St. Pete. Here, on the other hand, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and discard both of these, advancing us 3 places on the search track. 1, 2, 3. Hope for not an epidemic. Because this is the first time we've actually had an epidemic hit, as well as getting deli full. So let's give this a shuffle. I always forget. Set that there as a reminder for us. Oof. This is not an ideal start. Turn 2 to already hit our first epidemic, especially now that we have had London outbreak. Not the worst spot to have an outbreak, simply because London is still a 1. But not the best either. Don't really want to start with outbreaks. As I said, don't really want to start with outbreaks. It's Bogota. Becomes a 2. Up there. That's pretty well connected too. So Delhi is the spot we're going to have to hit for sure. So that's the 2 cards we had to flip there. We quarantine Delhi for 1 action. Oh man, this is tough. I could end up in Istanbul, not be able to cure it yet. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll help stabilize the board a little bit. Okay, Karachi, it's faded, and Chicago. So we're 1 short of being able to cure blue. Had I not blown up Paris the way I did, would have worked. We have 2 more black cards, which should advance us another 2 spaces on the search track, which is pretty solid. I think that will be the plan for next time. I really want to get out of there. So Osaka for 1, walk here for 2, blow it up, doesn't take an action. So we have completed this objective. That's pretty nice use of Johannesburg there. We haven't found the patient, haven't quarantined, haven't cured. Curing is most important. 3, 3, 4. I was tempted to pass over the blue card, but I'm at 7 cards there. I would have to discard something, so it's better to wait until I take care of those black cards before I do anything else, and that'll be next turn. Seoul and Sao Paulo. Of course, when I want to draw the black cards to be able to search, cannot do that. It's always fun. Put 2 here. Santiago, yellow cube. We're gonna have to start dealing with that fast. Atlanta. So I'm gonna show Tehran to fly to Tehran for 1. Walk 2, 3. And there's no group of 3 that I need to quarantine because Bogota is in here. So I'm going to discard these 2 to advance 2 more spots. Let's see what I draw. Seriously? Already another epidemic? Did I only have 2 turns between those epidemics? That is rough. Yeah. Man, it must have been... I guess you don't get a ton of turns between stuff unless I missed a draw, and that also advances that. We're getting closer to a cold trail, and we have no black cards to deal with. Oh. Probably should. Remember to put the 3 cubes on Soul. Well, at least Rose safe, so she cannot. Look at that. Look at that. It's a 3. And of course, it's just one of those things where, of course, there's a military base there. Because if that goes up 1 more, that means that we'll have to spend a card to get in there to blow up that military base. Next one is Santiago, which is now dangerous as well. Lovely. We have Peggy. 1, 2. And I'm going to show Soul to be able to fly into Santiago for 3 and remove a cube there for 4. It's... I really hate to use cards like that, but it's a little bit trickier. Ho 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 ho. No! No! Oh no. No! We got Istanbul, but we got a major problem. And I don't think there's anything on any of these cards that's going to save me. So the major problem is I don't have room to take another Scar. That means we're going to lose Aurora Monroe this turn because she's starting in a city with a faded figure. Which means we're going to lose all these cards she's collected. We're going to have to send her to any of the bases. That is just brutal. So let's flip these 2. London and Atlanta. Aurora dies. So we get rid of all of these cards. We no longer have anybody she can be a coworker with. When I say dies, I mean she is out of the game for good. Card is gone. Start of her turn, she died, so she will be able to go to a military base. However, she's just a random civilian, so she can start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not great. Bogota and Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. I am not sure that this is winnable anymore. So I still have to try. Like, it's Seoul means a red one, and Hong Kong loses its quarantine marker. That was just really rough to have happen. We're gonna have to, at the end of this game, we're gonna have to throw some upgrades, since you can put the character upgrades not just on character you've played with. That game. So we're gonna have to find a way, I think, to get somebody else up to speed, and maybe even bring back in Kitty Pryde, or just bring in two new characters from here that can have a relationship, so that we get some of that added bonus that we're going to lose since Peggy cannot have a relationship anymore with people, and we used a couple of good ones on her. So it's going to be a whole lot trickier curing the diseases. We flip those two. Drew. I'm going to go 1, 2. Use the Sao Paulo card. Fly here for 3. Use Grenade Belt, which is not an action, to blow up that faded figure. And use that to advance it. 1, 2, 3. Cairo gave me another Grenade Belt in case I need it. Cairo and Tokyo. So we are not close to curing any of these diseases. Oof. Hopefully, Cairo, lovely, and Delhi, lovely. And we don't have the ability to quarantine like we used to. That is really rough. I don't think I would have played it differently, but yeah. Honestly, I have no idea. Two, 3, 4. I can get to Seoul. Doesn't do me that much good. I need to do. So I'm gonna take 1 off of Bogota. Go 2, 3, 4 to Shanghai. That way I'm at least there to deal with that. We only need 2 more yellow cards, which is nice. We only need 2 more red cards, which is nice, but we can't pass them as easily. Let's see what we flip here. St. Petersburg. Man, this just got out of control fast. Shanghai. So, discard this to advance it 1. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And hope that we draw something solid. I mean, drawing a few more blues, certainly solid. And we've had a few turns now without an epidemic, Baghdad needs another faded figure. So that's nice. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have a good way to quarantine. So, I mean, I will go 1, quarantine, 2, 3, 4. Take care of that. Moscow riot gear. And an epidemic takes us up to 3. Well, filling up Tehran. So this is where it gets really dangerous, because I'm shuffling in Tehran. I have no way to avoid, right now, this turn, Tehran blowing up. If I happen to hit it. So blowing up, I mean, it's going to outbreak, which is going to cause Delhi to outbreak, and that's also going to cause Baghdad to outbreak. It's also going to cause Cairo to outbreak, which will be one short of killing us. But the big thing with that, Shanghai gets one, Los Angeles gets one, and London gets one. Oh, thank goodness. So that's really crappy. However, I can go fly here for 1, quarantine for 2, go here for 3, quarantine for 4. It is not ideal because I am stuck there. Ooh, Calcutta. Calcutta gets its first faded figure this time. And we have another binoculars. Yes. So we just need to get one of these 2 characters in a point where they can search. Let's see what we flip. Santiago. Okay. You can see everything we're flipping, and we have another outbreak. We lose the one on Baghdad, but that is fine in this case. Though not necessarily great, because we now have another 4 in Cairo, and it's possible. Okay, so it was possible there that would have just been a death, because had that outbroke, Peggy Carter would have taken a scar. Then she's starting in a city with faded. She's going to take a scar. So we have this, have right gear. Honestly, I do not know what to do. Playing for to win says 1, 2, 3. No, that doesn't work. It works 4. Because I can use this the following turn, but I have Calcutta, so I don't actually need to send my Civ in there, which means I need to do board control. Which I think means 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have the riot gear. So now I know Cairo's not coming up, which means I can't double up to have Tehran explode, theoretically. Baghdad, some more riot gear. Baghdad gains. Where's Baghdad? Lost it. Okay, it does not gain anything because it's already full. You can't have an outbreak from these cards. And Chennai. Oh, and this should be there. Sorry about that. From the third epidemic. However, Kolkata actually search. Yeah, so it will work, but we'll start still by flipping 3 of these. Tehran loses its thing. I'm immediately going to play this. It says not an action, play anytime. Reason I'm doing that is I absolutely need to block that there. And on any 3 routes, let's just make this a little bit safer. Go there. Let's even split it up. We're not going to split up this chain possibility. We're going to split these 2. So they can't set each other off. Reason I'm not doing it here is because getting to Tehran without spending a card is going to be really useful. So that's 1. Bogota. 2. Hong Kong loses quarantine. That's a 3rd flip there. So I start by taking a scar. Look at the different scars. May never enter a fallen city. Let's just do that one. It doesn't seem too bad. Like I said, I'm not sure that Peggy Carter will be there next time. So, 1, 2, advances this 2 spaces because it is a binoculars. We have found patient 0. It burns in my brain. I can't see everything. I can see everything. I can still see it. They came out of the dark and they grabbed me and we were somewhere. The feeling was amazing. And there were soldiers. And they... You have to talk to the soldier. He was here. Talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to him. You now have DNA of Coda. And we've completed this one. We are just fishing for cures at this point. That was 2 actions. I have to go here for 3. Just to get to a point I can fly. And I'll show Lima, I think. No, I can't fly into Lima. So Tokyo, fly there. So I'm safe. We have Sydney and San Francisco. So we are getting really close, but I'm not holding my breath. Delhi is here. Loses that. Baghdad. Outbreaks. Blocked it off though, thankfully. Takes Baghdad up to a 2. takes us up to 5. And Atlanta. Trying to remember, and I do not, where this one goes, so we'll set it here. I don't think that's right. I think it might have been on Atlanta, but I do not remember, and New York was the closest. I'm assuming I dragged it when I was reaching for something, but we'll look at that. So I need to get out fast. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for not black cards now. Kinshasa, I need 1 more yellow to be able to cure. And Atlanta, we are good there. We have St. Petersburg. Moscow. We're running low on cubes for especially yellow. Red is fine. Buenos Aires means yellow. We need to get cards passed. So 1. And the ability is you can give, don't have to be in the city. 2. Cured yellow. 3 and 4. There's a reason for going over there, and the big reason for that is now if pink gets there, pink can pass over the blue card, we'll have cured blue, and we'll be down to red. Holding my breath. Epidemic. No. This is probably it. Istanbul. Istanbul goes off. Cairo goes off. Moscow goes off. So I'll increase the numbers there on all of those. We have our first fallen city in Cairo. We have Istanbul that is falling. And we have Moscow that has just started riding. This is one thing that I was slightly worried about and why I was debating about fully going for it or not, because now that we've lost, we have completed the search objective, and if you read the search, if you succeed, destroy the objective at the end of the game. That means we're down to 3 remaining objectives: quarantine, destroy 2 military bases, and cure 3 diseases, all that we're fairly familiar with at this point in time, but that's going to be tough. And it wasn't even that far to the next one. Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to cure red before we hit that last epidemic. Of course, we had a hazmat suit at the bottom there, C4 at the bottom there, induced purulent, and that was a tough game. So let's find somewhere over here. I have Lily's pen, and let's go here to today's date is 7/2. I have to change my watch. Peggy Carter and Aurora Monroe / Civi. That was a loss. We now have 2 funding. We're going to go with my 2 preferred funding. One Quiet Night and Regulate Population. And let's put this away. Shouldn't need that anymore. We're actually going to probably retire Peggy Carter. Her ability to pass cards is still good, but we can't set up another relationship with her. And looking at the relationships that we have left somewhere in here, we have family members. If you start your turn in the same city as a family member, gain an extra action. Friends. If you start your turn in the same city, you may look at but not rearrange the top 2 cards of the player deck. Rivals. When a rival plays or discards a card, you may immediately discard any 2 cards to pick it up. The extra action's nice to start the game. With trading cards, we're going to have to end up in the same city fairly often. So I think that's going to be the relationship I go with. When I put the scientist, and let's do Kitty Pride. So these are not my 2 upgrades. This is just me doing this ahead of time. So that goes with KP, and let's call her Jean Grey, continuing that Marvel theme. So we can go JG. Let's hope I'm still streaming. I bumped something, but I'm actually not in the program that stopped the streaming when I accidentally bumped something. Curing with 4. What I'm going to be looking for now is what is going to help me pass cards for upgrades. Hand limit size increase, probably not worth it. Hero, self-sacrifice any time. Shuttle between any 2 structures. Local pressure, if you enter a military base, you can quarantine in adjacent city. Veteran. And we have on this sheet, increase hand limit by 1. Forecaster, look at the top 2 infection cards. Flexible, for an action, discard a card to draw a card of the same color from the discard pile. Grizzled, you don't get something with outbreaks. We're going to give Kitty Pride multiple identities, be able to move from between different structures. I mean, we're going to have to blow up the military bases, but it's going to give her mobility across the board faster. Cross any roadblock without discarding a card. Taking fairy action, self-sacrifice any time. Grizzled, flexible, discard a card, draw one of the same color. We're actually going to give her flexible as well. No, we're actually going to give flexible to Jean Grey. So the reason for giving flexible to Jean Grey is that with her being flexible, there's that, let me find the card here quick. Maybe. Probably not that quick, really. But basically, it's one of the upgrades on Algiers that allows it to count as any color. Because it counts as any color, I can discard black cards from Jean Grey to pick up these cards. And now we only need 4 blues, 4 reds, and 3 yellows because she reduces the number of cards. So this will be an interesting next game. It'll be a very different team than we've used before. But one small swig left. So I will see you tomorrow night for second playthrough in October. Bottoms up.